with a knife, and you brought him chicken, he shechted it for you and made it kosher. And once a week, my grandmother used to just take me, let's go. We went to someone's private house. It was like in the backyard, chavli. And all the women were in the front, drinking tea, eating sweets. Meanwhile, in the back of that house, they brought a big bowl, and they would shecht it right there, and then they would spend like 2 or 3 hours taking it apart, and then they would go out, and all the women would say, okay, I need this, I need that, I need tongue, I need feet, I need this meat, I need that meat. And then we would walk out from there with bags with meat. Guys, so so I don't know, you look to me like you were all born here, so you don't know what that all means, but that's what I saw there. So when I came to America, I decided that I want to become religious. I don't know why. I decided I'm going to go to yeshiva. I didn't go one day to public school. I walked into public school, I think over here, Moro or something. I walked in, just like this. I opened the door like this. I looked inside. Then I just turned around, I closed it, and ran out. So that was my whole experience with public school. I just checked it out for 1 second, and that's it. So I went to Ber Hagola. In Ber Hagola, there were guys, I don't know, they were not serious, they were not learning, they were talking in class during the a rabbi was teaching Torah, and they were talking. I said, what is this? Guys, this is yeshiva? No. So I said, I'm not continuing in Ber Hagola. I want to go to real yeshiva where they're learning Gemara, they're learning real stuff. So I came to Chaim Berlin. I remember I just walked in myself because it was a big yeshiva on Coney Island Avenue. To me, this was yeshiva. I wanted to learn there. So I remember literally a couple of months after we came, I come in and I say, who is the main guy here? They say, Rosh Yeshiva. Where's Rosh Yeshiva? They say, he's in Beit Midrash over there. I say, where is he? I come in at the Beit Midrash. I go straight to the front. I go to Rosh Yeshiva. Now, if you know Chaim Berlin, Rosh Yeshiva, he has like a Secret Service security apparatus. You could get to him. If someone is not exactly, they don't know him, he is not approved, he comes close, you could get killed on the spot. So I come in straight to the Rosh Yeshiva, and he's learning. First time I saw Rav Shechter, who was a niftar not long ago. And he was completely engrossed in his learning. And I just tapped him on the shoulder, and I said, my name is Avram, real Arkady, this was my first name. So I want to learn in yeshiva, I told him. He says, what? He looked at me. I didn't look like someone who was going to fit into his yeshiva. So he told me, he never had this, because parents have to, in order to get to yeshiva, you have to come with your parents. Today I realized, because I had children myself, I know how it works. You just can't just come in like that. So obviously I shocked him then. Then he just decided to talk to me a little bit, because he couldn't just throw me out. So he started asking me a couple of questions. So first question I asked me is, this is a standard question. Which shul do your parents daven in? Which shul do you daven? I said, I don't daven. Which shul does your father go to shul? I said, my father doesn't go to shul. Okay, then he asks me, second question was, do you have TV in the house? I said, yeah. Okay, 2 strikes, right? 2 strikes. And then he asks me, do you know how to read Hebrew at all? Even alphabet, something. I said, no. 3 strikes out. So how could I get into that issue? Forget about it. So he said, you know what? Go outside, wait over there. He sent somebody. I was 14. I was like just bar mitzvah. So I was like in 8th grade. So basically, they took one Russian boy in Beit Midrash. I still remember him, still keep in touch with him. He knew already his stuff. So he took me out. He started explaining to me a lot of different things, how it works. I can't get it like this. He's working with me, trying to solve my problem. So at the end, I think I went home very frustrated. But Baruch Hashem, that Shabbat, I was passing by a shul, and I saw a lot of people outside. It was 11:30 after regular minyanim finish. My Rebbe, Rabbi Katzen, who is my Rebbe now, he used to forgo his Shabbat Suda to give shiur to Russians in the shul that was empty, because all shuls in the morning on Shabbat morning were packed. He made a deal with certain shul, when they finished prayers and they go out, he's going to come in and he's going to advertise that there's a shiur on Parsha, and he would put some food, some cake, and make grape kiddush on grape juice, and he would tell the Russians about Parsha. So I was like walking, and I see a lot of Russians standing, waiting for something. I asked them, what's going on? Are they giving out some stuff for free? They told me, yeah, the rabbi is going to be speaking, and he's going to be giving food. Okay, I waited until everyone packed in. I also came in. I listened to his whole lecture. I loved it because it was in Russian. It was on my level. And by the way, in Flatbush, there was no Bukharians. We were like the only family. In this neighborhood, his shul was on Ocean Avenue, Tamchei Torah, further down by Avenue O. So, and then I came over to him after his shiur, and I told him, I want to go to yeshiva. I am right now in Bir Hagola. I feel I could learn more. And he helped me to go to Ner Yisrael, Baltimore. He got me a contact there. I called up after Shabbat, and I went there for 9th grade. And Baruch Hashem, I learned there the entire high school, 2 years in Beit Midrash. Then I went to Eretz Yisrael to learn. And then when I came back, and in the summer I was one time a camper in Camp Aguda with Rabbi Israel Belsky, who was the head of OU and was also the Mara de Atra. He was the posek of Aguda, and he was in Camp Aguda, was taking care of an entire camp, and I was there a camper, and I was getting close to different rabbis, and when I saw my Rebbe, my future Rebbe, Rabbi Israel Belsky, someone clicked with him. So after I came back from Israel and I got engaged and I almost was getting married already, I was looking for kollel. I came to my Rebbe and he told me, come to my Yeshiva Torah Vadas. And over there, Yeshiva Torah Vadas is about learning practical things. Over there we'll learn, of course, the whole Orach Chaim, which is the daily halachot. After that, Yoredeya, which is the halachot. First of all, shchita, treifot, melicha, salting and soaking meat, bugs. After that comes basar b'chalav, taruvot, and all of kashrut, yain nesech, and so on. After that, you learn choshen mishpat and so on. And there I learned for 15 years straight under one rabbi, Rabbi Israel Belsky. Since then I forged a very, very close connection to him. I learned shchita practically and treifot practically. I went to Shecht with my Rebbe. I went to OU to see how he paskins sheilot over there on Broadway downtown Manhattan. And I'm very happy. If I would sometimes think, would I do it differently? Would I do it differently? I would hope not, because today I am the luckiest man. I have wife, 8 children, 4 of them are married. I have everything I wish for. Whenever I ask for, Hashem gives me, Baruch Hashem. And this is what I want to wish you also. So Rabotai, when we talk about treifot, we cannot not talk about shchita.
I'm sorry, Rabbi. Torah Vadas has a Bukharian Chabura now, no?
Now, yeah. Rabbi Avezov, Rabbi Koinov, Rabbi Eliyahu Chaimov. Why was there the first one? I was the only one for a long...
Tell us of this chaburas in the night, in the day, or it's all day?
All day, from the morning.
Go learn there in the night. We can go and join the chabura.
No. They learn with the yeshiva on a very high level.
They have entry level for, like, when you came in, they had some kind of a...
My entry level was in Baltimore. Over there they had a special track, and then they mainstreamed me. But when I came to Torah Das, Torah Das doesn't have that. I already came as... I was prepared already. I had a few years. I was already learning in Eretz Israel after that. After Israel, I came to Torah Das.
So if some of our guys want to join the Yora Day here, you can help them out?
You have to have some background. You have to know how to learn Gemara. You have to know how to read, of course, Rashi, and have some experience. Because when they're going to be learning on the highest level. Tur Beit Yosef, Shulchan Aruch with all the Mefarshim. So, look, excellent. The yeshiva is open. Anybody could come in. Yeah. Awesome. I see the guys. No, listen, don't get me wrong. I see the guys over here are very chashuv, very, very learned, very good guys. Very good boys. But you have to drop everything. In order to learn Torah Das, you have to be a kolol yungaman. It means that you can't have anything besides for learning. You have to have at least one seder. First seder is from 9 to 12. And then second seder is from after mincha, like 2:30 till 6. So you have to have one seder. Okay, not two sedarim, at least one. You have to come in and dedicate yourself to be there with chavruta. Yeah, not 1 hour, 3 hours straight. Okay. Yeah, who's coming? Who is signing up? Send me your number. We could make it happen. No problem. Torah Das is very good. Although after my Rebbe died, was niftar, it's not the same. I left after he died. I left. Now I do other things. I'm a Rebbe in the morning. I also have a shul and this and that. I can't say that I am learning full time now because I'm busy. I'm preparing shurim. I'm learning daf yomi, whatever you could, a little bit to keep up, to finish Shas eventually. But I can do whatever I did when I was younger. So. When we talk about Trefot, let's get back to Trefot. When we talk about Trefot, we have to also understand Shchita. If we had to define Shchita, and after that Trefot, they're connected, but let's go back to Shchita. How would you define Shchita? What is Shchita, Rabotai?
Slaughter without pain.
It's good, slaughtering without pain. But is it fair to say that it's the Torah prescribed way to kill an animal? You see, there's many different ways to kill anyone or anything, especially an animal. Gemara talks about nechira. Nechira, for some reason, in the olden days, they had a concept of taking the nostrils of the animal and like ripping it open, and it would die. Nechira. Or so they would also take out the heart. I mean, obviously, if you take out the heart from a person or an animal, it's dead. So Goyim, they had their own way of killing an animal. In order to kill an animal, in order to eat the animal, you have to kill it. But Torah comes and gives its own method. And the Torah's method to kill an animal is called shchita. It's called shchita. This method is unique in such a way that it insists that you have to have a special tool, which is the straight, smooth, very sharp knife blade. And this method says that you have to cut in the neck specifically, kaneh and veshet, trachea, which is the windpipe, and esophagus, which is the food pipe. And once you cut those, kaneh and veshet, rov of each one of them, not the entire thing is necessary, even majority, in the behema, or rov of one in the bird, it's kosher. After that, Torah tells us that we have to check the inside organs for certain deficiencies or certain sicknesses that will kill this animal within a year. It would not survive within a year. And that's called treifot. The reason why treifot and shchita are connected, because since the objective, what's the reason why you're shechting? In order to eat it. But even if you shechted it, but after shchita you found that it has a sickness inside and now it's treifa, you can't eat it. So, as a result, shchita and treifot are connected, because until you check for treifot, you don't have kosher meat. You don't have kosher meat. However, there's a difference between shchita and treifot. There's a difference between an animal that is asur because I didn't shecht it, the shchita was not correct, and an animal that I shechted, but after shchita, when I checked the inside organs, it has a treifa, and I cannot eat it for that reason. Who knows the difference between an animal that was never shechted, it just was killed, and that's why I can't eat it, or an animal that I shechted in a kosher way, but after, when I checked the inside organs, I found the treifa that makes it pasul, and I can't eat it. What's the difference? Yes, please. What's your name first?
David.
Okay.
So after shechita, the animal is considered kosher until you find the treifa.
Which means if I eat it, it's okay. I'm okay.
Well, you gotta check it first.
You gotta check. So I can't eat. I cannot eat it. So for all intents and purposes, it's not kosher yet. Yes, Rabbi. Oh yes, excellent. So Rabbi put said two words, nevela and treifa. Did you hear this? We find that certain animal called nevela and certain animal is called just treifa. It's connected to my question. So what's the difference between them? So Gemara says like this, that if an animal was not shechted, it was either killed, like in the ways that I described to you, nichira, or you took out the, you shot it, you took out the heart, then it's nevela. It has a special name, nevela. But if animal was shechted, the shchita was kosher, but when I checked it, I saw that there's problems with internal organs, and I can't eat it because of these problems. It's called treifa. So is it kosher? No, it's not kosher. Can I eat either one of these? I can't eat both of them. So if I can't eat both of them, why do you make a distinction? What's the difference between them? Yes?
Maybe it has to do with the tumah.
Tumah. Excellent. Good. Very good. What's your name, Rabbi?
Ariel.
Ariel. So Rabbi Ariel says, interesting thing. Torah says that nevela, not only not allowed to eat it, but if you touch it, you get tumah. And
you have to carry it. You have to move it.
either you get tumah either by carrying it, or it's called mitameh b'masa. And if you did it, you can't go to Beit Mikdash. Today, it's not applicable so much, but in the time of Beit Mikdash, a person who touched an animal that was just shot or just killed without shchita, it made him tameh. Not only not allowed to eat it, but he also become tameh. Also, it says mitameh bebet abliya. If you eat it, it's mitameh. You not only is sur of non-kosher, but it's also tumah. But if you shechted it could never become tameh anymore. It could still be asur to eat it, but it's not going to be tameh anymore.
Can you, Rabbi, can you use the fur if it's not kosher?
You could use it. Yeah, the skin, the fur. If, for example, for Sefer Torah, we use cow skin. It doesn't have to be slaughtered in the kosher way or kasher from treifot. As long as it's kosher animal, like a cow or sheep or goat or even a deer, it's kosher. It's a kosher animal. then we allow it. But it doesn't have to be kosher, something that you actually could eat. So we delete.
Either never allow or
You could use it, right? For Sefer Torah. So comes out that shchita is such a important step that it takes away the tumah. But even after I accomplished shchita, nevertheless, it's still not kasher until I may verify that there is no treifot. And we'll see in a minute that there is 18 treifot, 18 problems that an animal could have inside of it, that if you found them, you can't eat it. So let's quickly review this. Who can tell me what's nevela?
Normal killing of an animal. Not kosher slaughter, just killed.
An animal that was killed or died on its own, by the way, also. Yeah. Just dropped dead from old age. Yeah. Also nevela. Good.
Carries tumah.
And that has tumah. Excellent. And what is treifa? Question. Yes, Ariel?
what level of tumah has? Rishon?
No, it's if a person eats it or carries it, then he becomes rishon. This halachot I'm not so baki in it of halachot of tumah.
If he touches it, it doesn't become tumah?
Just be touching it, no. It's not like sheretz, dead rodent, like a dead rat or a mouse, that you're just touching it. Nevela is not like that. It's sugya and chulin. But if he ate it, he becomes tameh, or he carried it, he becomes tameh. that we know. And what is treifa, therefore? What is treifa? This brings us directly to our discussion today. First, the definition. No, first definition. I want. How treifa is different than nevela? This is what I want now. Who can explain that?
If it dies within a year, or if there's a blemish,
You can't have a kid.
or
But how is it different than nevela? Nevela is also problematic. It's also asur.
It's treifa is killed kosher, so it's no tumah. But
First of all, treifa is only applicable if you shechted it kosher, but then you found something that's going to make it die within a year inside. That's treifa.
So one you could still value some profit, the other one you can't. Because the other one's tummy.
Which one profit? Which one no? I don't get it.
Treifa. The treifa one you can. The bela you can't because it's tummy to begin with. The treifa is not.
But you could use something which is tameh for. You could sell it to a goy. You could even use the skin for Sefer Torah. That's not a problem. Just correct. Even if it's tameh, it's not a problem.
There's also
It's not a problem. The halacha says there's not. Yes, sir.
There's tefot also outside tefot.
Correct. Yeah.
It's easily visible.
Correct.
So that invalidates it for shchita lechatchila, like a missing eye.
Well, it's not missing eye is not one of the shofot. No. Look, a person or an animal could survive without an eye for many years.
So what would be
Could survive without an arm. Could survive without a foot. Could survive without ear. A lot of things we need them in our body, but we could live without them. If it happened that we lost them, chas v'chalila, chas v'shalom, we could live without them. But what that's the beauty of this Mishnah is we're going to see now which are the vital organs that if we're missing them, we're going to die.
So an eye, it's within a year. Not eat it even if they're missing an eye.
Now, the Gemara we learned was there are some animals that have treifot b'achutz that make it possible with korban, different than treifot. Like a moon.
Moom is different. Moom is different.
Right. So one of the definite treifot.
No. Moom is not only missing eye, but even if it's like
There's like
a
but it's a cataract.
it's cataract. You just have something cataract. You have something on covering the eye. It's also moom. Or cut in the ear. That's different.
Korban, but it's kosher l'kulin.
Yeah. It's kosher l'kulin, so it's not one of the three. Right.
So
Not
kosher shchita, the shchita was 100% kosher, but then inside you find a blemish that could kill it within a year.
Yes, one of these things that we're going to see it right now. Let's see.
What happened if, like, let's say, I know we learned, but what happened if a goy, right? Because we learned that For them, it's more the environment, right? If they have a missing limb, so how does that work for them?
Because one is one's
For
talking
the
about the
lamb that
Haba.
would bring sacrifice to Hashem. Now they
Yeah,
should.
it's different.
Also, if they have a cataract in the eye, they can't bring it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But if, like, let's say they did the shchita, they did the shchita already, but they found something missing, how?
I don't know.
Is it,
We're gonna have to-
So I wanted to, just before we go to the Mishnah, it says in the Gemara that which two organs are necessary to make a shchita? I already mentioned earlier.
Trachea and esophagus.
Yeah, trachea and esophagus, kanda and veshet. And Gemara says that if you have a hole in the trachea and esophagus, well, in the esophagus it's a hole. In the trachea, it has to be a incision. It has to be more than just a hole. Just a hole is not a trachea. It has to be most, because our trachea windpipe is basically half ring. This is, I'm holding trachea in my hand. Half rings, and the air goes in here. So in order for this to be trachea, it has to be something sharp has to sever more than half of this ring, more than half of the ring. Then it's trachea. But when it comes to food pipe, it has smallest hole is a problem. Smallest hole is a problem. So why is such a difference? Why is such a difference? Food pipe, the way food goes down our food pipe is funny. When you have a clump of food, wherever that clump of food is in the pipe, it widens. On top it narrows down, and on the bottom narrows down. As the clump of food, and then the top pushes down the clump of food, and it goes down slowly. It doesn't just drop down, but it's transported down without opening the pipe straight out. Why would you think Hashem made it that way? I mean, in other words, it's a muscle. The food goes down, the entire food pipe is a muscle that pushes. You know, sometimes you take a bag and you just push down whatever is in the bag. In order for it to go down, you have to squeeze it, right? Our food pipe squeezes the food down. Why did Hashem made it that way? Hold on, one at a time. What do you want to say? Huh? No, we're not crushing it yet. We're crushing it only in the teeth. Once, if you didn't crush in the teeth, that's Lord Troy. And then we're going to?
Prevent anything from the stomach from going back up.
Very close. What do you say?
I was going to say to get the nutrients out.
No. Nutrients are taken out in the stomach. In the stomach, we have a very, very, very sharp acid called hydrochloric acid. It could, if it falls on something, it burns a hole in it. It could digest, break up food. And Hashem doesn't want this hydrochloric acid to go up. Sometimes it happens, by the way. And in order to protect us, in order for it not to burn our throat, he made sure that it's a muscle that always closes up. It seals on top, seals on the bottom, only wherever you have a food, it's open, and then that's how it goes down. So you see, miracle from Hashem. Hashem built us that way. Now, because of that, it says the smallest hole in the veshet. This is what we're holding. Look, elu treifot b'behema nikuvat haveshet. First treifa is the nikuva. What does nekev mean? Nekev, a hole, veshet of the esophagus, of the food pipe. Because of this concept that it has to work as a muscle, a hole in esophagus prevents this from happening, prevents this thing from happening, and it widens. The whole smallest hole eventually widens, and you lose the entire chas v'shalom use of food pipe, and it disrupts the whole thing. You can't eat. You start, the hydrochloric acid is released and burns you up, and person could die. So even smallest hole, even mashahu, it says in Shulchan Aruch, in Rishonim, is treifa. Yes?
So just for clarification, in the trachea, if it has an incision more than halfway, makes it not kosher.
Yes, trachea in this in the windpipe. In the windpipe, it's another miracle. Windpipe is half rings that are made one on top of another. They never collapse. They never close down. Because how does air enter our lungs? The windpipe is, when we breathe, air has to come in. In order for us to survive, air has to constantly be able to come in. If we would close our trachea, we would choke, we would die. So that because of that, Hashem made an interesting, secure way for us never to close our windpipe. He made half rings that are stacked up, one on top of another, and they're just connected with thin pieces of meat in between them. What happens if we have rings? Anyone ever saw, it's called a flexible hose. There's two types of hoses. There's a hose, just a pipe, and when you plug it into the faucet, and if someone goes and closes this hose, then the pressure, water doesn't come in, pressure builds up, and it pulls it out from the faucet. But that's what these are the hoses we had in Russia. All hoses were just a pipe. But in America, when we came in America, it was so different type of hose. A hose had rings. It had rings, and then the plastic was just covering the rings. So when I tried to close this hose, it didn't happen. Why? Because when you bend it, because of the rings, it remains open through and through, all around, always. Water always goes back and forth. Where did they come up with this genius idea? From here. Hashem already showed us how to do it. He made this hose, ring type of hose. And the reason why he made it that way is because he wants the air always to be able to go down our lungs. Never to, let's say for example, at night you go to sleep, you go like this. If you wouldn't have the rings, you would not wake up. But because we have rings, no matter which position we sleep, we go to sleep, we turn around, we do somersaults, whatever happens, we always have air coming into our lung, whether we want it or not. It's because it's made out of half rings. But it's precisely because it's always open and it's not a muscle, just a hole is not a treifa. It has to be more than half severed, which means that it's disconnected from the jaw and disconnected from the nostrils, I should say, from air that comes in through outside. And now the air there's not going to be a connection between the lungs and the gateways of the air, and you're not going to get the air because of that. So treifa over here, that's our next treifa. Psukat hagargeret. Gargeret is a esophagus. Trachea. Is trachea, is the windpipe. And over here it uses the word psukat. Psukat means completely severed. So nikuvat aveshet, even a hole, smallest hole in esophagus, and psukat gargeret, a completely detached trachea. Nikaf krum shel moach. After we discuss kana and veshet, Mishnah brings the brain, which is the next most important thing. By the way, the reason why trachea and esophagus are the most important first ones, because shchita is possible if shchita is done in these organs. We have to cut kana and veshet. And it says in the Gemara later that if kana is ripped and the veshet as a whole, then the shchita is not possible on this animal. In other words, even if you would shecht it, it's like shchita, it's like it doesn't have kana and veshet. It's like an animal that doesn't have a windpipe and food pipe. Can you make an animal that doesn't have a windpipe and food pipe kosher? If the whole concept of shchita is to cut kana and veshet, windpipe and food pipe, and these are already damaged, they are not there, that means the shchita is not applicable. So even if you would shecht it in the kosher way with a kosher knife, would it be Nevela or treifa?
Nevela.
It would be now nevela. It's important that we delineated the difference between nevela and treifa. Nevela is something that never had a kosher shchita. Now we're showing that sometimes it's possible to actually have a kosher shchita and still be nevela, like it never had it, if there is a problem with these two organs, with a trachea and esophagus. And by the way, very often, these two problems we could see from the outside. There's few examples. There's Chumat Agidin, you could see on the outside of the foot. But also, when we check the neck, especially by chickens, very often they get packed around, they get thrown around. So a shochet has to look at the neck of the chicken. If there's no cuts, bruises, blood over here, he will shecht it. But if he sees cuts, bruises, the halacha says that you don't shecht that animal because maybe there was a hole, it healed, but it's not fully, within a year it's going to die. Maybe one of the organs was once already punctured, so we don't, binasafik, because we don't want to get into questions, we don't take it anymore. So we only shecht a chicken that has a completely clean neck. Any questions so far?
Yes, when you mentioned that it was nevela, even you find this to damage by itself, but the animal didn't pass.
He's not dead.
Not dead. How can you even nevela? We are checking.
Right. So Gemara has an interesting language. Nevela mechayim. I think the reason why Gemara says this is because of your question. It could be still walking. It could be alive. But if you'll shecht it, it'll be nevela. And even now it's a nevela. It's called nevela mechayim. Because something that's impossible to shecht is doomed to be nevela. Shchita is not going to, and it's always going to be tameh. Is it tameh now while it's alive? No. It could only dead carcass is metameh. It's not metameh, but it's already called nevela mechayim. Okay. We go on. Next nevela is nekuvat krum shel moach. Our brain is a gathering of a lot of nerve cells, but the main thing that holds it together is called krum shel moach. Is a very thin membrane that holds the brain together. Just a small hole in that membrane is the problem. Chas v'chalila, chas v'shalom, even if there's a hole in the skull, it's still not a problem. Today they have different ways of stapling the person's skull together, they glue it. But if it went so deep that it punctured a membrane of the brain, then it's a mortal danger. Nikav alev. What is lev? Heart. Nikav means a hole in the heart. There's machloket how many chambers Rambam and Rashi the heart has. According to Rambam 2, according to Rashi 3. Really, there's one third one, the Rambam doesn't count it. But anyway, since the heart is a pump, it needs to work and pump out the blood into all the parts of the body. Smallest hole makes the heart stop working, and therefore it's treifa. It might be that the animal will live a couple of more weeks or months, but it's going to die. Then we go nishbira hashedra. If the spine is broken, v'nifsaka chut shela. We have a very important bone, biggest bone of our body in our back is called the spine. It's a gathering of many different vertebrae, smaller bones. And inside those bones there is chut hashedra, which is called the spinal cord. It's connected to the brain and it brings signals and allows movement of all other parts of the body. If chut hashedra, the spinal cord, chas v'chalila chas shalom, is severed, person gets paralyzed. Paralyzed. We don't move. Nitala covered if the liver is gone. You see how Mishnah is going from the top, from the main points of shchita, then the top, the bottom, the heart, the Liver is considered next most important thing, because the liver is digestive system. The rest of the digestive system is just to deliver the food and to transport it to parts of the body. But liver is that factory that actually utilizes the food, takes the vitamins and minerals, and produces them. If we don't have that, chas v'chalila, it's treifa. Then we said.
Rabbi, did you ever see a liver missing in an animal?
No.
Is there ever a case? There's a story about the missing heart, right? The Yavits, but there's a story.
There is a story like that?
I'm saying, but but what about a missing liver? And how's that possible? If you have a missing liver, you have no gallbladder, you have no nothing. Where's the gallbladder attached to?
Yeah.
The liver is, what is the,
Yeah.
the liver is not healthy. Is it kosher animal or not?
What do they mean, no liver?
Well, it says like this.
Detached?
Nital hakaved v'lo nishtayer hemenu klum. Gemara explains that sometimes you could lose, somehow you could take out the liver, but as long as you have one kazayit of liver left, it could still you could still function, survive, and it could grow.
What does that mean it was taken out? The shochet lost it?
No. We're talking.
It's not in the animal. This means it's not in
No. This means during its lifetime, this happened to an animal.
So,
Meaning it has this condition that its liver is missing. But what does it mean? How could it be missing? It could be missing because there was an attack. For example, one of the explanations of treifa is a sheep, a goat that was drasa, which means a wild animal predator like a wolf or bear attacked it, ripped its stomach out, and took something that looks good, liver, always jigar, right away, right? So, if there is one kazayit left, it's gonna survive. But it took everything. That's it. The animal is dead, as good as that. That's one explanation. Another explanation could be disease. Even scientists and doctors today, they realize that sometimes the river could have problems that could literally like make it dysfunctional piece by piece. It could be just cirrhosis, right? So maybe that's what it's to tell you the truth. Mishnah is telling us the treifa, not necessarily it's actually found in nature, but Mishnah is telling us more like conceptually, theoretically, that this is a vital organ. If this would be missing, it's treifa. You have to know it. If it happens, does it happen too often? No. Okay? Let's go on. Reya. We go after the liver, we go to reya, which is lung. Reya shenikva or shechasra. A lung that has a hole or it's missing some part of it. So I'm going to stop here. I just want to tell you outside that one of the treifot is a hole in the stomach, hole in the intestines, because besides for stomach, animal actually has 4 stomachs. We also have intestines, which is a lot of small little kishkas inside. Smallest hole in a stomach is a problem. He talks about keres, hemsis, keva, and beta kosos. Oh, these are 4 stomachs of the animals. Then it says nafla minagag, if it fell from a roof, vinishtabru rov tzaloteha. Most of it, the animal has 13 ribs. If most of them, I guess 7, get broken, it's a treifa. Drusat hazev, if it was attacked by a wolf, and so on. And then Mishnah finishes off. So what we saw, that treifot are applicable in the most vital organs of our body, which includes the head, the brain, the heart, the lungs, the liver, the entire digestive system, which means as food goes down, and all the intestines and stomachs, and most of the ribs that are broken, because that's the structure of human body. Yes?
Only a damage on the esophagus and the trachea is considered like an aberrant? Or yeah?
Oh, Gemara later Mishnah says there's another nevela. If half of the animal was cut off, sometimes we're talking about 2 big legs. If it was ripped out, it could still be alive, but it's nevela mechayim also.
The rest of the
Well, and that's it. And that's
the
it.
rest of the organs are
You do not shut it.
correct.
You don't shut the animal. Yeah. Even if an arm was ripped out, the animal is really kosher. It's not a treifa to be missing an arm, and you could shecht it. But if a leg is ripped out, because it's like a 50% or 49, or close to 50% of the body, and also because of the pain, our leg is attached to our pelvic bone, which is this bone, through a ball joint. There is at the end of the leg there is a ball, and it goes into a joint like this, and it moves in all directions. So when that comes out, it's so painful that it says in Poskim that an animal could die just from the pain.
Okay, why do we care about the animal that dies in a single year?
What do you mean?
We learn it from Korbanot.
What do you mean? When you say why do we care if the animal dies within the year? Which part is the problem? Within the year? Well, it dies. What are you trying to ask?
Sick. You're sick. If the animal is sick, it has sickness. When you check it, why is that? Why do we care about that?
Why is sick animal not okay to eat? That's what you're asking? Oh. To me, it was never a question. I thought Hashem doesn't want us to eat
You want to eat something diseased?
not healthy stuff.
Maybe it gives out bad bacteria or something like this.
It's a good question. No, Mr. Shimon was asking a very good question. But I thought that, well, it said like this. In this week's Parashat Mishpatim, it says, Anshe Kodesh tihiyun li basar basadat reifa lo tochelu lakelev tashlechunoto.
It's a health issue.
It's not really exactly. According to Pasuk in Parashat Mishpatim, it says, be holy people, and therefore don't eat treifa. So you see that Torah is connecting treifot to holiness. The way I understand it, maybe there's a different shot, that if you are not holy, you could eat anything. You could just so hungry, you could jump on something and just eat it raw, or you don't think, is it healthy? You don't check. You don't think twice. That's what cavemen do. They don't care about this thing. And but Hashem says to us, no, holiness means that you pick and choose what you eat. Make sense? Okay, Ariel.
Yeah, thank you. And Parashat Shemini was learning exactly this. There's certain animals that it gives you tumah. Even you touch it. Now the goy, they are allowed to eat them.
Mm-hmm.
They are not kosher because, as you're explaining, we're supposed to get holy, especially for the korbanot. We not even go forward for Pesach.
Right.
I think this is that is what I understood from you.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So Rabbi, so right now,
Pasuk in the Torah that says "Nevela utrefa lo teachel," straight out.
mhm.
So what's the Chachamim are just defining what a trefa is. It says
Right.
straight out in the Torah you cannot eat a trefa.
Yeah. It's Gzerat HaKatuv. Torah says it. Yeah. Really, we don't.
It's interesting because Shechita is halakha Moshe v'Sinai, but trefa is from the Torah. How are you supposed to get a trefa if you never shechted it?
Yeah. Yeah. Good. But Halachal Moshe Mishnah is also from the Medaraita.
Correct, but it's not that Zerat HaKatuv is.
Okay. Good. Okay. So now.
Katuv.
Yeah. Okay. So Rabbi, so I want to leave all the treifot now on the back burner. Why? Because it says in the Gemara, if you shechted an animal, you don't have to check for any of these things. You don't have to check the brain, the spine, the liver. You don't have to check these things. Because Gemara says, Rov behemot kisheirot. We are relying on the Rov. Rov means majority. Most animals they don't have this problem. We don't find these treifot in a stam or regular animal. Sometimes it happens, but it's so rare that you don't have to check. But one thing out of these, we check one, and that is the re'ah, the lung, because even though it's still, because Gemara says that the problem with the lung is miut hamatsui. In other words, like this. You still have most animals that don't have a problem with a lung. But the problems in the lung, they have a little higher chances to happen. And it's now called miut. Miut means minority, but hamatsui. Hamatsui means that sometimes it's found. And poskim say that by the way, what is rov? Rov is 51%, more than half.
Sure.
What is miut? 49. 49, minority. When we say that treifot are not found, that means that there could be 1 to 5% out of 100. Let's say one animal maybe will have it. That you don't have to check. But if it's miut hamatsui and they say give the number 20, if it's 20% that could have this problem, then now there is a chiyuv of bidika. Now you have to check for this. Even though you still have a rov, majority still don't have these problems, don't have a problem with the lung either. But because it's a little higher percentage, which is 20, you have to check. So it says in the Shulchan Aruch.
With trachea and esophagus, you said it is a nevela, right? Now, if any other part you see also has an issue, is it also become a nevela of the animal? Or only focus on those two parts? that
No,
make it a nevela?
that's an excellent question. No, because the other things are not connected to shechita. The definition of nevela is something which was not shechted or cannot be shechted because the organs that receive shechita, which is trachea and esophagus, are affected, are problematic. But liver, heart, brain, spine, they're not connected to shechita, so therefore it's not nevela. Okay? That's a good question. Now, so let's go now focus, yes?
Very sorry to interrupt. When the rabbi said most animals don't have this problem, what does it mean most? Out of a day of shechita? Because sometimes in a day of shechita you could kill 4 animals and all 4 could be traded. So where does rov apply? Meaning if you took 50 random animals, 26 of those animals won't have this problem? What is rov in this case?
That's a good question. We're gonna come. What I would like to do is to come back to this question. Why? Because in order to really understand it and answer it, we need to see the progression, how it starts from the Gemara conceptually, how the mitziyut, which means the way it now things work then and how they work now, and at the end of the day, we'll see what happens practically speaking today. Yes, it's true that if I would go to College Point where they shecht or whatever, out in New Jersey, Iowa, whatever, with shecht for animal, it could be that we'll find 4 in a row. But there is still a rov behemot kasherot, and the most simplest explanation is if you're shechting 100 trefot, most of them are going to be kosher. That's the simplest explanation. If you think now, is it possible to shecht 4 and all of them will be? Yeah, it's possible. What's the chances? Very small chance. Very few chances. Now, when we went with Mr. Shimonov to shecht in College Point, we shechted the sheep there. We shechted like 5 of them, one after another. It took 2 days for us to shecht. First day we shechted 3. They were all not kosher. One in a row. And then we shechted 2 more. Next day 2 more, I think, right? And then last one was kosher.
I ate that lung on Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah, it was the best lung because I was makpid to take glad. That's why we rejected many of them. We took 2 days, right, out of life to do this.
From 5-1, that's 20%.
So to quickly to answer this is that because of our chumrot, because we don't paskin today, we don't really pay attention. If something looks like a treifa, it might not be treifa, we don't take it. We therefore have more treifot at the end of the day. But still, it doesn't mean that it's treifa.
So it's because we're being more machmir, it looks like there are more treifot.
Yeah. So that's going to be the short answer. What are we machmir? What are we being machmir on? Now comes the question. What are we being machmir on? And what exactly is at stake? Why is there more treifot? At the end of the day, today maybe there was more treifot at the end of the day than ksherot. But it's not because that's really the case. Yes?
Yes, regarding the percentage, I hear also that when they ship animals from America, they are like a quicker. That's why they are bringing from South America, Uruguay, Argentina. They are better. Animals,
yeah.
And the percentage reduced a lot over there.
Because they don't give them growth hormones.
I don't know what kind of animals they are, but they are tough.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. It's also because of the conditions and because of the way they are being treated and the way they're taken care of. Yes, all these effects. Yeah. So, it says in the Gemara, Mishnah, Nikuvat Hareya, hole in the lung. The treifa of the lung is small hole. By the way, why small hole in the lung?
Why is it a problem?
Why is it a problem to have a hole in the lung?
Air leaks out?
Yeah, because the job of the lung is like a balloon. It fills up with air, and it's supposed to bring the oxygen into our blood, take the high carbon dioxide out. It's a very important thing. But the main thing of the lung is really a balloon. Later on, we'll blow it up. You'll see it blows like a balloon. You all know that you could have the best balloon, but if you make a small hole in the balloon, whatever, it pops. It's not there. So, therefore, smallest hole in the lung is a problem. So Gemara says that sometimes you see at the lung a small adhesion. It's like a small little a thread that could appear and it could attach itself sometimes. Our lung is contained in it's called the rib cage. We have over here a ribs, and the
Why does that happen?
small little thing could connect to either to cage or to lung itself or to different parts of the lung. And Gemara says, this is Machlokes Rashi and Rabbi Tam. Rashi holds ein sircha belon nekev, that the way this string appears is because there is a hole, and the body stuffs up the hole. It closes up the hole and fills it up with a lot of liquid, and then that liquid hardens and it attaches to itself. But it points out that there was a hole. Points out that there was a hole.
Like a
We
plug?
do a swipe, right?
Like a plug, yes.
Swipe.
You're going ahead a little bit. Wait. So if you have that small little string, according to Rashi, it means that the hole was already there, and therefore it's trifa. And Rashi says that krum shala bereya machmat nekev en the krum. Even if something clogged up, stuffed up a hole in the lung, it's not helping. It's going to fall off eventually, and therefore it's treifa. According to Rabbi Tam, no, really, the strings appear for a different reason. And I spoke not long ago to a doctor, pulmonologist, who is a lung expert, and he explained. I never understood it, Rabbi Tam Shita, but I'll explain to you in a minute. The strings appear it's because they want to attach themselves to keep the lung hanging in, because the way lung works, it has to always have air in it. if there's some problem, either a hole or something's not working, the lung deflates. It's called collapsed lung. So once you have collapsed chas v'chalila lung, it's a danger to life. So Hashem created this interesting miracle. He created the strings that appear, right before the lung even collapses. They appear to, and they connect. They like hang it up like on hangers,
Like anchor points.
like anchors, and becomes attached to all around the rib cage, to at least keep it a little bit open, so that the air could stay inside.
But there can be circlets without attaching to the rib cage too.
But they attached from each other, right? From one to another.
Itself, yeah.
So okay, so this explanation fits. Rabbeinu Tam holds that sircha is not indication of a hole. Sircha comes because of something else, and my explanation from the doctor is the way he explained it is that it prevents the collapsed lung, but Rabbeinu Tam says eventually it will make a hole because the lung is still going to collapse and it's going to rip out and it's going to uncover the lung. It's going to make a hole.
So how does Rabbi Yakubov know that it will happen within a year and kill the animal within that year?
Here's a Mesorah. This is what Chazal said. Chazal said that sircha is treifa. There's only machloket why it's treifa, but Rashi explains it's treifa already now. It's already, the hole is already there. And Rabbi Tam says the hole will happen. Is there a big nafkamina, a big difference between how you learn? Not much. We say anytime you see sircha, it's a problem. Now,
If a wolf rips out a liver and leaves a kazayas, the animal is kosher. But a small hole in the lung with a sircha, we go crazy about this hole.
because if you have a balloon and you have a small hole, boom, the entire thing is gone. Certain things are very crucial for certain things. Okay? So because the lung is a balloon, hole is a problem. So practically speaking, when we shecht an animal today, or any time from the time we practice shchita, we checked the lungs for sirchot. How do we check the lungs for sirchot? So over here, let's do like this. Now I think it's time for us to blow up the lung. I'm going to need help about that.
You gotta blow it. Rabbi needs gloves.
Gloves, maybe, gloves could be good. We also need, maybe different tablecloth. Yeah. I think the guys could just come up and I think it's fine.
He's gone.
Do you want to pull up this? Ready? I just let it down to the right.
Putting it underneath the scanner, Rabbi?
We want to bring the camera. I want it to be up close.
The camera.
Good, that's perfect. That's good.
Can you pull the table towards
Water.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
Like more and more. Can you move the table
if you
towards
want,
to get in there?
we could still put a lung under it, just
Later on?
just for the camera, whatever you want. So leave it.
I have to snap this picture. It's a rare picture. Beautiful.
Okay.
Ariel, can you move? You're blocking the camera.
Tak.
Can you move? You're blocking the camera behind you.
Excuse me, sir, can you move your camera, please?
Can you move, please? You're blocking the camera.
Okay.
Is that
Yes.
Okay, Rabotai. So,
This is from cow?
from calf. From a calf. So, the lung is consists of two major parts, which is called Uma, two umot, two big the bodies that hold a lot of air right here. Then on the right side here, this is the right side of the animal, you have a very long piece that's called mitpatzelet. Mitpatzelet means it splits because it has many different parts to it that are split out. Right under it, there is emtzayit, a middle one, and then uma. Over here we have a piece that's called varda. On the left side we have arucha va'ava, long and thick, and then we have the emtzayit, the middle one over here. Okay, usually over here you have a heart, and these are the actually arteries of the heart. So heart is out. This is trachea. Right behind this is esophagus. So remember, I told you about the food pipe that always closes down. You see right here, this is a food pipe, and it's closed down right now because the muscle naturally constricts, always closes down. But all the food goes through this pipe that's right behind. The shechita took place right here, Kona and Veshet. Food pipe goes, bypasses the lung and goes to the stomach. It continues here. Here's the other part of the food pipe that goes to the stomach. Stomach is over here. There is a tarpish or diaphragm, a piece of meat that separates between the lungs and the stomach, and there's a hole in the diaphragm, and the food pipe goes through the diaphragm to the stomach. Okay. Now here are the sirchot. These holes on the umot, this is what shochet looks for. Different adhesions that go from the lung to the rib cage. You have it here. Let's turn it around. Basically, this is how shochet checks the lungs. This is the bottom of the animal. This is the top. The head is over there. When the shochet checks the lungs, he goes from the bottom, because animal hangs upside down. The head is down. He puts his hand. Now there is a machloket, which hand to put in, the right one or the left one. This is the secret that I have to reveal to you. All other things we do always with the right hand. The shechita is with the right hand. The safrut is with the right hand. The tefillin you put on with the right hand. But the checking of the lung, for some reason, I don't even know why, it works better with the left hand. So the animal is hanging down. You make an incision, open the diaphragm. The stomach, by the way, already comes out. Then there's a lung. And the shochet puts his hand going down, and he goes with his finger here. He goes here. He checks. If there are sirchot, then he will, well, as he goes down, he will feel them. He won't be able to feel. If he's able to go down like this, nothing stops him, it's kosher. He goes down further. Then he goes between each one. If he's able to put his fingers like this and go, it's good. Then he goes over here, it's also good. This lung is pretty good. I don't see much of. It says that whatever different incisions you see by mispatzelet, which is this one, is normal. This is the way it always appears. Here is a sircha. This diaphragm over here is connected. This piece is connected to this piece. This is how they look. And we paskin that when it's in the complete corner, it's all the way from here till here, it's still kosher. So it's a sircha, but it's kosher one. Okay? Here I don't see anything. This is just diaphragm. Here, same thing here. This is normal. It says that this is how it grows. The left side is good.
Rabbi, someone wants to know what's mitpatzelet in English.
Something that spreads, something that this is the good word, branches out. The branch, mitpatzel, pitzul means a branch. So this is the mitpatzelet, the branched out one. So now, it says, if you found it, so this is the best we have today, a sircha like this. If it would be not in the corner, but it would be similar thing, but it would be like this. Let's say it would be detached here, and it would look like this. This is the perfect picture for a sircha. If you find something like this, it's already a question. Now, there's machloket, mechaber and ramo. According to mechaber, this is not kosher, not glat. You have this problem. But Ramo says, what you could do is to test it. First of all, if you just go like this, and it comes off right away, it's kosher and according to mechaber. This one doesn't come off right away. It doesn't come off easily. But if you go like this, and it doesn't become stronger, but it rips out, and the main thing, it disappears afterwards. And then there's 3 stages. First of all, you're supposed to do inside checking. Second, you check outside. If you find this, what I just did was called mishmush umiuch, is to just dissolve it. And after that, you have to blow it up and put water on exactly the place where you took out the sircha. If it bubbles, it's treifa. If it doesn't bubble, it's not treifa.
Bubbles means there's a hole.
Rabbi came to me afterwards.
Bubble means there's a hole, yeah. Hold up, after. Wait.
After the main event.
This
Wait,
the main
this
thing.
is very important.
Okay,
Oh my god.
So we had a shaila between Uma right here and here. Just maybe someone could clamp it, just close it. Put something inside. Yeah, good. Okay, here we had it here. We had it here. We take some water, put it here.
Like a tire.
Like a tire.
No bubble.
Doesn't look to me like it's bubbling, then it would be kosher. According to Ramo.
So
If
it bubbles, then it's not kosher.
No, according to everyone, it's not kosher. But Mechaber says you can't do this. Anyone who does this, Ma'achil Treifot LeIsrael, it's like you're giving non-kosher to
But that's Beit Yosef.
Bet Yosef, right?
But this Beit Yosef, no good.
Well, this is still Bet Yosef because it was in the corner.
It was in the corner, yeah.
This one is still particularly good.
Can we deflate it now?
It's already the
It's going to do it by itself. It's fine. Huh?
How big was the calf? He said.
Yeah, you see, it became big, right? It's a calf. It's about 300 pounds.
Why can we
400.
put it like in a bucket and inflate it to see if it's bubbling at all?
Yeah, right now?
No, like
Let's do it. Do we have a bucket? Let's put the whole thing and see if any wind comes out.
Dude, we have
that's how they check tires, you know? Like,
we need like a
That's also weight. This is just you could do this b'diavad, but the real way, put it in the water.
Rabbi, do we have
Rabbi, you check it.
But Yosef is when there's nothing, everything is clear, clean.
So those things that you were showing before with the...
Yeah, it's not bad.
What is it called? Z45. May I blow?
Okay.
You gonna blow it?
Yeah.
Let's see, we're going to get a big bucket.
iPhones are crazy.
Straight over here or?
Yeah.
Yeah. One second, we're getting now a big bucket, maybe.
What's the sanitary version?
I've only been the same.
It's fresh. It was just shechted. So. It's small. It's not going to fit in. I don't think you have something big. Okay, so.
Like a container like that. No.
I don't know. Rabbi, I don't know if we have a big one, but blow it anyway.
Blow it. Who's next? Me. I'm gonna be next.
I start smoking, so I don't have to.
Don't breathe through your nose. Breathe through your nose. In through the nose.
There you go. Whoa, that's 3. I think.
There you go.
CPR.
Bring the spray.
Is this good enough?
Yeah, it's good. Good.
A little bit more. Huh?
Yeah, it's like a giant sponge.
One more. No, it's not.
Yeah, but it's gonna. No, it's gonna deflate anyway.
Well, people eat. Some people eat it.
Yeah. Shush.
Кушать можно, да?
You could make pirashki. Chop it up thinly. It's good. Yeah. Shush. Shush bazar is Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah.
Man, I've never had one.
Попробуй. Rabbi, I had more to say, but I think by now already everyone.
You want to come another time? I have no problem.
I could do a little bit of demonstration on shechita. I have knives if you want to do
Yeah,
that.
before.
We'll talk.
You throwing this long out?
No, he wants to for different shiur. I don't know if it's kosher even. He didn't tell me, but there is going to be another shiur, so I'll take it.
Okay.
Okay? I'll take it back.
No problem. The rabbi said we're going to have a part 2. Bezrat Hashem. I will make the second shiur. It's late. There's a lot more. We're going to do a little bit of process of shechita, about the knives, about the stones.
Yeah.
Okay, Bezrat Hashem, another time we'll have the rabbi over with us. Everybody, round of applause for Rabbi Yakubov.
How are you? You are.
They have a barbecue.
Yeah, but
Let's take I'll take a picture. David, let me take a picture. I'm sorry.
Alright, sure. No problem.
blowing or without blowing?
No, don't blow it.
There's diseases in there.
No, he already blew it.
You already blew it, Rabbi. You missed it.
He missed it. Means
Whatever you got, you got it. I'm just kidding about the disease. It's cleaner than our New York City law.
All the way.
Don't do it.
Go ahead.
The rabbi breathes in from the nose. Don't breathe in the lung juice.
If there will be a hole, what will we see now? Would we see air coming out or bubbles? What will we see?
It wouldn't blow up so well. It wouldn't inflate.
Put water on it, right? To check for leaks.
Yeah, if you put it in the water, that's the best way to check. But we don't have a big enough container.
Like what, soapy water?
Nah, that's tired.
Anyone ever tried to do a smoke test? Smoke test?
What is that?
You pump it
On
with
this?
Yeah, like you would see where it's coming out from.
They do it for tires?
Rabbi, I'm going to shut up the...
For cars,
No,
it's
sir.
a different system.
Rabbi, is it okay to shut up?
Yeah.
So cool.
There's only one opening. There's only opening.
That's a good thing.
All right, anyone
Rabbi, how
want to
old
let
is
us know?
How long?
How old?
How old? It was shechted this week, Monday.
Wow. I feel like the people that did it had COVID. It was good.
Monday morning. It feels fresh.
Yeah.
Listen, if I knew it was kosher, we would probably make shush, make something from it.
It's not kosher?
We don't know. It could be that it was treif because they could bring anything. I didn't ask specifically for kosher. I just asked for a long, so I didn't specify. So I don't know what he gave me.
You can't possibly.
No, you have to see at the time, right after shechita. It could have been that something got ripped off. Maybe there was treifa, but it got.
You can't take it like that.
Yeah.
I have a question.
before you do the shechita, you make a bracha, right?
Yeah.
And if the shechita comes out not kosher, it's not bracha levatel?
Excellent question. Excellent question. So that ties into Nevelah and Treifa. Since you save this animal from Tumah, if you did the good shechita, it's not tameh. That makes the bracha justified. That justifies the bracha.
But if it doesn't come kosher the shechita, then it's not levatala?
It's not levatala, because shechita saved it from Tumah.
But if it's the ground shechita.
What?
The ground shechita, the ground way.
If you did wrong, yeah, it's bracha. But it's not foolproof. Sometimes you make mistakes. Yeah, we don't consider this bracha levatala. We say that it's honest. It's honest. He made it. He was planning. He had a kosher knife. He was planning. He is a experienced shochet. If he did wrong, made a mistake, it's still not a levatala. No. Poskim don't say it's levatala.
Remember, we made a hole in the foot and we're blowing inside the foot. Why?
Just when we skin, to take the skin, to make the skin come off easy.
Rabbi, I have a question. So, in the order that it says in the Gemara, is it from what's most important to down the list, or what?
I think it's more from top to bottom, because you see that.
Right, but the reason why I'm asking is because somewhere like lungs is like number 4 on the list. That's after liver.
Yeah, lungs after liver.
Right,
That's a good question.
Right, but that doesn't make sense if the lungs is the one thing that you do check, even though it's less important than all the other parts.
I'm gonna look into this. It's a good question. I don't know. It's a good question. Huh?
Genetically grown cows. Like genetically, they take from the
Yeah. Is it meat? There's few kshelot shama.
Would it be like a treifa or not? What do you think?
For sure.
So
It's not treifa. It's a question if it's kasher or not.
Yeah, would it be kosher?
Because they take just cells from any animal, from non-kosher animal, and then they grow it. So the question, if it started out non-kosher, maybe it's gonna also be not kosher food. But some say maybe no. It's nishtane. It's something else. It's a different thing.
And why don't they shecht giraffes?
Yeah.
Why don't they shecht it?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You could shecht it, but
Costs like 10.
it probably costs. The zoos, they pay a lot of money for giraffe. So therefore, and also meat is not. It's not soft, tough meat. Sure. But we shechted buffalo, American buffalo, big animal, deer, so whatever. Okay, Arabic. Tada Rabba. Okay.
You learn in the Torah, right?
Yeah.
I see you a few times. I've been there with Rabbi Kramer. He knows me very well.
What's your last name? Ariel?
Me?
Yeah.
Maimon.
Okay, let's see. Last name. Let's go Arabic.
What about for regular class?
We have a minyan Arabic now?
Yeah, Arabic.
Okay.
Brother saying Baruch Nafshi.
Okay. Oh, Baruch Nafshi. Baruch Nafshi. Хорошо. Ты уже почти заканчиваешь? Хорошо. Только шаббат, только шаббат. Да, у нас только 15 человек, и утром у каждого своя. У нас маленькая сейчас.
around here, or do you live in Queens?
I live here. I'm in New Jersey. But I'm moving to Five Towns.
You're moving to Five Towns? Five Towns is nice. I used to go to yeshiva over there.
What about you? Where do you live?
I live around here, but I have family that lives in Queens. Borchov.
Okay, nice knowing you. What's your first name? Last name?
David Aminov.
Amen. יש מלא. Amen.